Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new
Well, good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday night for the Inwit Brewery Xfinity Series here in Goat Locker Racing League. And tonight is a cutoff race. Well, you know what? That doesn't really mean anything. It's an odd thing to say, but man, what some developments that we have had moving into this particular race. I want to thank Lincoln Tech for their sponsorship of the entire fall series. But let's get into it. We'll talk about it right here. You can see Patrick Drabick, Michael Kostick, Jake Ellingson, Daniel Cunningham, Lance Ripka, Greg Bontrager, Mickey Isaac, and Tyler Justice are your round of 8. Nobody was locked in after last week, I don't believe. I could be completely wrong. No, it was in Indy, and Jeremy Garner won that one. So, not going to make it in that one. And then, you know, man, I tell you what, I don't know if it's drama or not. I'm not real sure. But a couple guys out tonight. Patrick Drabick's here. Daniel Cunningham is here. And Jacob Ellingson, Tyler Justice, and Craig Bontrager are here. So an odd turn of event. The only thing that that can happen in this race that can flip it on its head, because at the moment, no matter, there's only one thing that can happen that can change this. Right now, it's going to be Patrick Drabick, Daniel Cunningham. I'm checking the list to make sure nothing has changed. Yeah, nothing's changed. It's going to be Patrick Drabick, Daniel Cunningham, Jacob Ellingson, and Tyler Justice are your final 4, because Lance Ripka not here tonight. Mickey Isaac not here tonight. Michael Kosick also not here tonight. They are eliminated from the ability to run for the Final Four. And so that will give Jacob Ellingson and Tyler Justice the final 2 spots in the championship. But, there is, of course, just one thing that can change it all. And, that is going to be let's get the grid up, dadgummit. Craig Bontrager. That is the wrench in this whole thing. He can win, likely, and get himself in. I don't know if he was here last week, so he may not be able to, but just for drama's sake, we're going to say he can. I don't know if he actually can. Did he get a waiver? That's something I don't know. Maybe somebody will let me know, send me a message, let me know in chat if they know if he got a waiver for missing Indy last week because he did not show up. So if he does not have a waiver, then that's your Final Four. No matter what happens in this race, Patrick Drabbit, Daniel Cunningham, Ellingson, and Tyler Justice likely will be your Final Four. But if Bontrager did get the waiver, he will be able to win his way in if that's the case. But he is going to be the Jam Printing Promotions Pole Award winner. So congratulations to him, and thank you to Jam Printing and Promotion. And Patrick Drabbit going to start outside of the front row, finishing second last week. It doesn't matter what he does here tonight. He is going to be racing in the Final Four. Nobody can pass him on points. He has such a massive lead with those 4 wins. It's really not much anybody can do. Third is going to be Jacob Ellingson. Chance Taylor going to be in 4th. And 5th, Alex Cruz with Cliff Adams in the 6th position. 7th, Daniel Cunningham. Mark Cofield in 8th. In 9th, it's going to be Brandon Wallace, and Tyler Justice rounds out your field here tonight. So only 10 cars to get this thing rolling. And, it's going to be a fun one no matter what. Take a look at your race analysis here. 100 laps here at Gateway, 45-mile-an-hour pit road speed. As the grid starts to roll here. 2 green, white, checkered attempts, 4 tire sets available, 100% fuel load, and a fixed setup here tonight. So pretty straightforward race. Gateway, an odd-looking track. It looks like Darlington from the top side down, but you can see the obvious difference in the corners. 1 and 2, a lot more narrow than the wider, longer turns 3 and 4. But it's a very flat track. Only 11 degrees in 1 and 2, 9 degrees in 3 and 4. Just an odd-shaped track. It's very slow. It's about a mid 30-second lap. But a very interesting track. We'll see who comes away with it. Lights are on, though. We're getting ready to go green, and we'll see. We can find out if Bontrager has a waiver, and Nathan Fox, which I don't know if they know 100%, but he does have a waiver. Well, hey, thanks for letting the broadcaster know, guys. Just leaving me in the dark, but hey, I'm on it anyway. Craig Bontrager starting on the pole. If he wins, he is in the playoffs. So we still got some drama, even with only 10 drivers here tonight. Bontrager gonna have to go all out to get the win. Green flag is out here at Gateway, and he does exactly that as he jumps out front. So no way he's going to point his way in. It's Patrick Drabbit. Slides in the first corner. Chance Taylor also sliding, and caution is out as Brandon Wallace makes contact. And we are under caution before they even get down the backstretch. And it all started with the 07 who spun out. Chance Taylor right on his back bumper. Watch on board with Chance and see what happened to Pat as he just drove it down in there. And there might have been a little bit of contact there, but honestly, it didn't look too egregious. See if we can see sort of a blimp view here. Daniel Keel says it was announced during GOAT Talk. And it looks like maybe a little bit of net code there because it looks like there was a pretty big gap there. But Chance Taylor did come up a little bit as Pat was coming down on Chance. So a little net code brought that one out. So first caution here. And Daniel Keel saying it was announced during GOAT Talk. Well, I don't listen. You think I listen during GOAT Talk? I don't. So knowing that Bontrager does have a waiver, it definitely makes this a little bit interesting. Before he got in there, I thought for sure he wasn't going to be able to make it. He definitely can't make it on points. He's got to win the race. So right now, I mean, it's sort of a battle between Ellingson and Tyler Justice. They're 5 points separate them two. Jacob has the advantage. So something would have to happen to Jacob Ellingson in this race. Just something terrible for Tyler to be able to make that up. Tyler Justice currently running 7th. So they would have to flip here. Tyler Justice would have to get up to 2nd. Ellingson would have to be out of the top 5 for that to be even close. And that is assuming that Craig wins the race. So some decent drama here that can happen. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Craig's got a tall order, though, winning this race. And, of course, Jacob Ellingson, any of these guys probably don't want Craig to be in the Final Four because he has been pretty quick here lately the past month. So they want to get up there and win this race, prevent that from happening. And Tyler Justice would just Tyler Justice has a pretty vested interest in making sure he doesn't win either. So got to be interesting to see. It's pretty simple. There's no live points. We don't need any of that. It's pretty simple what needs to be done here. So if Craig wins, he will move on. Tyler Justice will be out. If Craig does not win, Jacob Ellingson and Tyler Justice will be in the Final Four. Well, these pace laps are excruciatingly long. But, man, here for the cutoff race next week is going to be the championship at Nashville to end this season. What a great season it has been. Just been a lot of fun throughout the whole series, the Lincoln Tech Fall Series, and looking forward to finishing up all these championships and getting these things settled out here. All right, getting ready to go green. Bontrager had the lead early. We saw some guys make a little bit of contact fighting for those positions on the restart. Very important to do that. Bontrager going to lead him down to the green flag. He will have control of the restart, and a great jump he got. Take that lead, and he knows what he's got to get done, man. Starting on the pole, going right up there and leading immediately. Exactly what you have to do if you're the 49. You can see Tyler Justice back there in 8th position, just sort of helpless at the moment. He's the biggest Jacob Ellingson fan at the moment. We're going to see if Craig, how hard he's going to fight for this. As here comes Jacob Ellingson down to the inside, and they're going to be side by side at the start-finish line, and side by side between Alex Cruz and Daniel Cunningham for 3rd place. Craig, though, fighting, driving hard into the corner, but through the middle of 1 and 2, man, Jacob Ellingson, no issue. A little bit of loose condition there for Craig Bontrager, and so Jacob Ellingson will take the lead and gaps him by about 7 car lengths before they get to turn 3 and 4. So Craig had the speed to get on the front row, but man, Ellingson very, very good through 1 and 2, and that made it very difficult as Cliff Adam gets into the wall, and there goes the 97 of Mark Cofield down to the inside, and we have our second caution of the night here on lap 7. So far, a lot of issues happening to drivers that aren't those 3 that we've been mentioning. They're on the hot seat. Drabick, who is locked in. There's no way anybody can make up any kind of points on him. He's going to the championship 4 by points. Daniel Cunningham as well. But those 3 drivers have been able to avoid incidents so far. Let's go back and see what happened here between these drivers. And you can see he's already spun out. And Cliff Adams is the one that actually gets into the wall and comes off the wall and hooks the 97. You see he got loose there, chases it up the track, comes back down, hooks the 97, and Patrick Drabick. And look at Tyler Justice getting through that by the skin of his teeth. It's gross. I don't like skin of the teeth. I don't know why I said that. I don't like that. I don't like what they say. Let's watch Tyler Justice on board here as the wreck happens right in front of him. He splits the difference. and going to continue on Marco Field with big damage. He'll come down, obviously get a faster pair here, although he is right in front of the the pace car, so he might go a lap down if he's not careful. Because he's going to go a lap down if he comes to a complete stop, I do believe. And there goes the pace car right there. So I maybe an error there for Cofield, unless he had some engine issues or something. But he goes down a lap and so actually slides through his stall. Looks like gonna have to back up. That the wheels falling off here for the 97 machine after getting turned into the wall. Not his fault. But he should get a faster pair, but he's gonna go a lap down. So I don't know why he had to do that. But, I mean, we've had 2 cautions in 10 laps, so it's possible he gets it back pretty quickly. Well, a little curious to see Craig give up that position so easy. Here at this particular track, you really don't want to do that. This passing is going to be difficult later on in the run. I understand wanting to save tires, but I don't know. Maybe Jacob has 1 and 2 kind of figured out. These are very different corners that require a very different way of attacking. So I'm a little surprised that Craig gave up that position so easily. I expected him to fight really, really hard for it. So we'll see what he's got up his sleeve. Jacob Ellingson, though, come out swinging. Because he can win and get into the play, lock himself in as well. I mean, Tyler Justice can win and lock himself in. Doesn't matter what happens outside of that. So, Ellingson doesn't want any kind of, chance to happen. I mean, if something goes wrong with the 27, then, it could all kind of flip on its head. So Ellingson wants to get up there and win this race, not have to worry about it at all. So, a lot of guys here with the way things are going tonight, the lack of participation from some playoff drivers, 3 drivers in total, just a weird turn of events. There was an iRacing update today that may have prohibited some guys from jumping in and racing, but it's pretty normal. End of the season, you're going to have that. But to have 3 playoff drivers, especially 3 drivers that were 2 of them were in, 1 of them was on the bubble, and they were out. So good for Jacob Ellingson, good for Tyler Justice. They just got to keep that 49 from winning. All right, pace car is off. We're a 10th of the way through. And Jacob Ellingson gets a big jump. Going to bring Alex Cruz alongside of Bontrager. It looks like got the nose in there. We'll see if Bontrager can make it work. He just got 8 up in 1 and 2 the last restart. And it looks like he's not getting a great drive on the outside. It seems like the outside of maybe a 1 and 2 is just not where you want to be. But he does settle in there for second. As you can see, here comes the 07 of Dravic down to the inside. Driving it deep into the corner, able to really make it stick, and got around the 91 of Cunningham. Cunningham going to try to maybe get the drive off from the top side, but now here comes Dravic to the inside of his teammate, Alex Cruz. After that early incident, I don't really know whose fault it was. I think it was just a racing deal between Chance Taylor and the 07. And Dravic now back out front. This is a very good track for Dravic. He seems to perform well at these type of flat tracks. It looks like Goat Locker in general is pretty quick. As I tell you, Jacob Ellingson extremely fast the last lap, although it looks like Bontrager was able to. Man, Bontrager sets the fastest lap of the race here. A 33.888. 0.3 of a second faster than Jacob Ellingson that last lap. Go on board here with Bontrager as we watch him try to run down his playoff hopes. This track, because it's flat, requires a lot of patience. You drop down to the corner. You have to pick the throttle up. You have to pick it up. So the car continues to keeps the speed up in the middle. Now, in 1 and 2, you can kind of see you drive it down in there, let it push up a little bit. but you just stay on the throttle until you feel like you can pick it up and not spin the tires. 3 and 4 is a little bit more letting it coast. You drive it down in the corner, let it roll, lay your foot on the throttle just a little bit here to keep the speed up. You hear him on that throttle, just working it, then picking it up full throttle here to get the run down the straightaway. Is, man, I tell you what, they are laying down some quick laps. Ellingson matched Bontrager's fastest lap last time by. They are boot scooting at the moment. We'll see if that tire wear plays a factor at the end of this run. I'm not really sure if it will. Take a look at the track temp. 79 degrees. You've got all the grip in the world. I think tires will definitely be important, but it's not going to be a massive, massive difference. It just depends on the type of track, the surface, and also the track temp means a lot as far as how tire wear will work out. And right now, it looks like the conditions are pretty good for tires to wear at a pretty solid, decent pace. So you won't see any huge drop-off, I don't believe. In those type of scenarios, I mean, you kind of just you push the car, pretty hard. You don't have to save as much. It's all depend. There's so many factors that go into that. But I think that's what we're going to see here tonight. Track position be important once the tires do wear out a little bit. Makes it hard to pass, but I don't think the lap times are going to fall off a huge amount. Right now, lap 17. And a lot of them were under caution, but 17 laps on these tires. Jacob Ellingson is 0.3 off of his best lap. So not a whole lot of tire wear at the moment. Going to be consistency, hitting those laps every single lap is what's going to matter, it looks like. Checking in on Tyler Justice. He's got to get up here and get this win. The two guys up front are the guys he is battling for that final championship spot. He started in the 10th position and is running in 6th at the moment. He's still got a long way to go. This is going to be a long race. 100 laps at Gateway is a long time. It doesn't seem like it, but it will, normally you'd run Gateway at like 80, maybe 80 laps or so. Maybe 90. So 100 is going to be a pretty stout race. He's got plenty of time. He's only 4.4 seconds back from the leader. As, he blinks out just a little bit. But we're going to see it be difficult to pass here. Looks like Craig Bontrager now falling into the clutches of Patrick Drabick. You can see that 07 looking to try to take over this second position. Check in here on Drabick as he's trying to make this pass work. On the 49, you could see, my goodness, Jacob Ellingson. This is, second to 6th, they're just right on top of each other. But Ellingson is gone. 3.5 seconds. As here comes Patrick Drabick down to the inside of Bontrager. Bontrager already falling off pretty quick here as he flirts with that outside wall. And just could not keep pace with Ellingson, who, has really drove away from everybody. Drabick to the inside. See Cunningham get a little bit loose, trying to stay out of that wall as Bontrager gets maybe tight there, kind of check up by quite a bit, and now is going to fall back to that 4th position. So, unfortunately for Bontrager, he's going to have to regroup. I don't see tire wear being a huge issue, but at the same time, it seems like maybe the line that he has been running, we've seen him run that outside line a little bit. I don't think, oh my goodness. I think he's just been abusing that right front maybe a little bit too much, because he is definitely not getting through the middle of the corner as good as anybody else. Now he's back to 4th, and he is in danger of losing that position to Alex Cruz and Tyler Justice right behind him. So Bontrager had a great start to the race, but it is now kind of coming apart here on lap 23 of 100. Still a long way to go. A lot can happen. It's definitely not over, but you got to be feeling a little bit nervous if you're in the 49 camp. You've got to figure out what went wrong here on this run if you come down pit road and try to fix it for the next one and hope that you get a caution. As both Drabick and Ellingson still running in the 35 flats. So tires are starting to fall off here. We'll see if they can go to how far they can go. I think it's going to be close. I can't imagine they're able to make it to lap 50. So I think this is going to be a 2-stop race. We'll see when they decide to do that. But they may be able to make it to 50. I wish that I had that kind of information available to me. Somebody has to give it to me, but it'd be nice if we could see that type of information. But you can see just how many drivers are on top of each other from third on back all the way to Chance Taylor in 8th position. They are right on top of each other. You see Craig Bontrager make a little bit of contact with the wall. But all these drivers are pretty close to one another. And then you got Jacob Ellingson out here by himself. There ain't nobody around him. See the focus kind of leaning forward a little bit. Jake's been needing some good fortune here lately. You know, he talked a little bit about it on Goat Locker or Goat Talk the other last night. You know, it's one of those things where you have a couple bad races, you start trying harder and harder to have good races, and it continues just to get worse and worse until you kind of stop the bleeding a little bit. And for him, you know, I don't think he would be upset with me saying this because I think it's the truth. I think there's a couple times where he's trying so hard to have a good race that he tries a little bit too hard. You know, the race at Michigan in the trucks, you know, he had a really great run there, and somebody got to the inside of him. He wanted the crossover so bad and goes down to the inside and just gets loose and spins out. Just self-induced things here. You know, it's one thing when it's, you know, it's other folks taking you out, but a lot of times with Ellingson, he is doing it to himself, self-inflicted, and those are the ones you can control. You can't control when somebody spins out in front of you and you hit them. You can't control when somebody flies across the track or, you know, something like that, or it gets into you or whatever. But you can't control the ones that are self-inflicted. And tonight, I think it's a great opportunity for him to kind of get that turned around. You have control of the race. You're 4.6 seconds ahead of your teammate Drabick. There's no need to take any unnecessary risk. When you come down pit road, come down pit road 2 miles an hour slower than pit road speed. I mean, there's so many things you can do to prevent sort of the wheels falling off of this race. And right now he's in full control. Just needs to settle in, just realize what's at stake, and try to bring this thing home. Because if we stay green to the end, he is in perfect shape, and he's obviously got a really fast Lincoln Tech 27 machine. So, I think this is a great opportunity for the 27 to get the wheels back on for all the series that he runs, because he is going to be battling for the championship in a couple of them. He was able to get the win last week, Thursday, in the ARCA series, which obviously helps your momentum. And then on Friday, just had that incident. So, love to get into two championships at least here tonight, and he is definitely able to do that. Brandon Wallace says there are 63 laps on fuel, so definitely be a one-stop race. Ellingson has it in control. We go back here to Bontrager, who has lost that fourth position to Alex Cruz, and right now he's about half a second off of the leader's time. So Craig not having a great long run here, trying to keep up maybe with Ellingson. Just had a great qualifying effort. I'm just surprised of how much he is struggling here through this run. And with only it being a one-stop race, that's just not a whole lot of opportunities to make something happen. So Greg now in a position where he needs a caution. He needs some luck to kind of go his way to be able to get this thing where he can be an opportunity to win this race, because not only is he going to have to go through Ellingson to win it, he's also going to have to go through his teammate, Ellingson's teammates, Dravic and Alex Cruz. They're not going to make it easy. You see him driving in, trying to keep up with the number 5 machine. Gonna get a run here. Kind of bobbled there on exit. Lost a little bit of that momentum. He had enough to dive down to the inside, I think. Lost it there right on exit. You can see how hard Alex Cruz is driving into the corner. Greg opting to have a little bit easier entry. This is where he was really good last lap. And down to the inside. You can see Alex Cruz pick up the throttle maybe a little bit too soon, although Bontrager is going to get a little bit of that rumble strip. Kind of upsets the car. You can see the thing wiggle and not able to get the run. I think Craig's pretty good in 3 and 4 versus Alex, but just can't get the drive off that he needs. Great roll through the center there. Had to check up just a little bit. Gets a tight on exit. Greg's really trying to make up for lost time here, but just can't get around that number 5 machine. Well, it's a good time to thank our sponsor for this series, Hidden Wit Brewery Company. Yeah, I think it's Hidden Wit Brewing Company. As here you see Bontrager now diving down to the inside. Can't quite slide up in front of Alex, but Alex tries to gas it up, and nothing that Alex can do from middle exit after he kind of overdrove the center. Now Bontrager moving back forward. He's a little bit faster last lap than Daniel Cunningham, so Greg has been able to save it, and honestly, we're going to see how it all plays out. He's 8.5 seconds back from the lead, though, so I don't know if you're doing any kind of hard saving if you'll be able to make that up. Expect him to come down, pit road. I would imagine if you're Ellingson, Bontrager really gets up out of the groove there. But I think if you're Ellingson, you come down on lap 50. You got a 5.7 second lead. You force everybody else to come down pit road when you do that. I think it's possible you come down pit road with that big of a lead, come out, and stay on the lead lap. It'll be close, but I think if you're Ellingson, you come down on 50, you don't speed, and he can do whatever he wants. He can stay out all the way to 63 if he wants, or he can come down on 50. I think he's got the winning strategy no matter what. That big gap back to second really makes a big difference. Well, we got 13 of you in chat. There's more people watching the race than there are in the race. So I appreciate you guys watching, being a part of it. I know there's a bunch of fans out here, a bunch of drivers. Take a look back here as Tyler Justice now under fire from Chance Taylor, who was up there battling in the top 5, but made contact with Dravic and now trying to make his way back up through their coat field. We saw him spin out or get spun out, and then come down the pit road late, 1 lap down now, still in 10th position. A couple drivers here that had some really good playoff runs that I really expected Chance Taylor to be in the race tonight, battling for a shot at the championship, and it just didn't pan out. They had a great season, though. I mean, gosh, been a fantastic season, something to build on for sure. I think next season he'll be a threat for this Xfinity Series championship, because he was really fast all season in it. Just a couple bad races in the round of 13, and change the outlook of his season, but he is. I think he's got what it takes to get it done. Just not this year. Still battling, trying to get around Tyler Justice, who's right in front of him. We got a battle for the third position. Here comes Craig Bontrager. As soon as we turn the camera on him, Daniel Cunningham getting loose on exit. Now Bontrager moving forward. He is faster than the leader. I mean, you definitely could see he was saving tires because he has got it kind of figured out at the moment. But, yeah, I mean, it took too long for it to kind of, play out here. I mean, he's gaining a little bit, but he's not going to be able to make up 8 seconds at the rate that he is. He's about 0.2 faster some laps than Ellingson. That just won't be enough before we hit pit stops. And then it's all kind of moved at that point. So I don't know if it was intentional to save as hard as he did, but he gave up so much time that even if he is a half a second faster, he's not going to run down and move. Makes a little bit of contact with the wall as he's trying to battle with Cunningham here. Cunningham solidly in the Final Four. Just by showing up tonight, he is locked in. A great season for him. I mean, gosh, somebody that'll third place you to death, that's Daniel Cunningham. But next week at Nashville, he's going to have to pull a rabbit out of his ass. Is that a saying? I don't know. And go for the win. I think you're going to have to win at Nashville, especially with Drabick and Ellingson in the race. We'll see if he can get that done. It's going to be interesting for sure. He's been really consistent all season long. Look at Bontrager diving it down to the inside. He's going to do a little sliders. Here comes Cunningham back down to the inside. You can see the desperation for the 49, knowing he's got to go. He can't play around. And these Toyota Supras are battling each other hard for this third position. Bontrager is through. Great move by the 49. Cunningham tried to do a little crossover. I think it surprised the hell out of him. He didn't know what to do. So Bontrager back up to third, 8.7 seconds back from your leader, Jacob Ellingson, 3.1 seconds back from Patrick Drabick. So right now, after about 44 laps, the fall off is about a second and a half. Depending on who you're looking at as far as best laps, but that seems pretty solid. Maybe about a second. Patrick Drabick's best lap is a 34.2, and last lap he ran 35.2. So about a second and a half, depending on who you're looking at. So not that much fall off here on tires. But just a wild way for this race to turn out, this championship run to turn out with 3 guys right on the cutoff, not here tonight for various reasons. Mickey Isaac said he has had a headache tonight or for the last couple days or something like that. And so we definitely hope that he gets better. Michael Kosick had to work late. And Lance Ripka, I'm not real sure what happened to him, but really changed the outlook of this Final Four. We're watching Bontrager here. We'll kind of go back here to Chance Taylor, who's still not been able to get around Tyler Justice. Tyler Justice still in play for the championship. So far, not going the way he hoped. He started last here tonight. Had some issues getting into the session. Was able to get in and makes himself eligible for the Final Four. He's just got to hope that Bontrager doesn't win the race. That's really the only danger for Tyler Justice. Tyler Justice likely, unless there's some weird waiver situation that I'm not going to be aware of, I'm going to assume there will be no waivers given out for the Final Four. I think that would be wild, where somebody can get in on points. So I don't think we'll see any waivers for the Final Four. I would be just completely floored if that did happen. So at the moment, Tyler Justice is going to be racing for the Final Four at Nashville next week. as long as Craig Bontrager doesn't win the race. So Chance Taylor just has not been able to find a way around this 33 machine. He has tried, just can't do it. Oh, look, I've got folks coming down pit road. First drivers coming down pit road right on lap 49. Patrick Dravick, one of them. And also, Championship 4 hopeful Craig Bontrager brings the 49 machine down pit road. And I just don't know. Man. He saved a lot of tire, had started to run these guys down on these tires, and then elects to pit early. Going to be really interesting as Dravick is going to win the battle off pit road, of course. And so now here comes Craig Bontrager out of pit road, and here comes Jacob Ellingson in, gives up the lead. So, I think Bontrager needed to do something different. I think he needed to maybe go long here and try to use that advantage of what he had saved on tires. And but he pits at the same time as Dravick and Ellingson. So he's really going to need a caution here to have an opportunity to win this race. We saw how good these two were, Dravick and Ellingson, on fresh tires. So they'll be able to really kick it in gear. But Daniel Cunningham assumes the lead. He's going to keep going. 63 laps. You can go on fuel, given by Brandon Wallace. So Cunningham going to try a different strategy, going to stay out there on older tires and pancakes the wall right in front of Craig Bontrager. That's about the best way you can hit on iRacing in this car. Just hit it flat like that. So you don't want to do that at all, but honestly, that's the best way it could have happened. You catch that right front or the right rear, it can cause some real serious suspension damage. You can see Bontrager going to the inside to unlap himself. So all three leaders, Ellingson, Dravick, Bontrager, are on the lead lap. You can see just the tire difference between those two drivers. So Cunningham holds on to the lead for now. Going to keep going. Caution can really change a lot of things here. Patrick Dravick was able to gain a little bit there on his teammate. Only 2.6 seconds back. He had that one extra lap. And he was also, he gained about a second on him just on pit road alone. He was 40.1 seconds from the time he entered pit lane to the time he exited. He was 0.3 faster in his box. So he gained about a tenth and a half maybe on pit road itself. So he gained a good amount of time. We'll see if he can do anything with it. We saw him get a little wild there on exit last lap. Loses a couple tenths, but he's definitely in range of that 27 machine if something happens to Jake. But Jake hasn't really faltered at all. Once he took the lead, we haven't really seen him around anybody for a while. So still in control of this race. Teammates a little bit closer than he was before. But Jake has been extremely fast all night long. He seems to have this thing figured out. We'll go on board with Jake here. Ellingson sets the fastest lap of the race. Takes it away from Craig Bontrager. It's Cunningham coming down pit road. This track rewards consistency. You're going to see being smooth on the wheel, being smooth on the brake and the throttle. That's how you get consistent, although he did four-wheel slide there in 1 and 2. So talking about consistency, that's going to hurt him in the time department. We'll see how he does in 3 and 4. Right on the rev limiter. See, he's using that brake bias. He might have turned that brake bias down a little bit on that long run and just moving the brakes towards the rear. That way it kind of swings the rear around. Yeah, you can see he's almost four-wheel sliding, driving it into the corner. But he is fast doing it. You watch that tape on the steering wheel when he goes down. Well, he gets a little bit loose there on exit. But as he goes down the corner, you can see that tape barely move until he lands in the middle of the corner. And that's just that brake bias turning the car. Then he gives that wheel a good amount of rotation and then unwinds the wheel and exits the car. It kind of rotates on throttle. But you can see that wheel doesn't turn too much, especially here in 3 and 4. You won't see much. Yeah, he almost turns it to the right as the brakes turn the car and gets it to about 10 o'clock and starts to unwind it. And that right there is why he has a 3.2 second lead over his teammate. Brandon Wallace is out front. He is electing to go all the way. Looks like he pitted about 50 laps ago on that second caution. So he's going to have a little bit of extra fuel. And Brandon Wallace is very clear about his strategies most races. He doesn't maybe have race-winning speed some races, and so he does what you should do, which is, hey, I don't know if I can win on speed alone, but maybe I can have an opportunity to get, catch a caution, save a little bit of extra fuel, and that's exactly what he's doing. See Mark Cofield there. He is still a lap down. He has stayed out as well, trying to catch that caution. Maybe it could be the lucky dog. Cofield going to go down to the inside, and that's going to unlap himself. And Cofield now back on the lead lap. So Cofield would love to have a caution right about now, as Cliff Adams is going to try to unlap himself as well. As you can see, Jacob Ellingson here in the distance. Not too much longer, he'll run down that 99 machine. But right now, Brandon Wallace, hoping that anybody would have trouble, because he'd come down pit road with the lead, hang on to it. He's got about 10 laps of fuel left, 52 laps on this stint. Then we'll cycle around back to Jacob Ellingson. I hope y'all having a great time here tonight. It's been a pretty interesting race, regardless of the field count, and of course the drama which would have been with the playoffs kind of fizzled out there with a couple drivers being out, but with the waiver that Bontrager had. He made it interesting, at least right now, unless a caution or something happens. Bontrager not going to be able to get it done. Still waiting on the 99 to come down pit road. Still got quite a bit before that happens, but we are clicking off the laps at the moment. Not even quite to an hour. So not much longer. And we're going to have our final four, which looks like it's going to be Patrick Dravick, Daniel Cunningham, Jacob Ellingson, and Tyler Justice. Brandon Wallace about 8 laps before he's got to come down pit road. Going to stretch it all the way out. Here he comes down pit road, bringing that number 99 machine onto pit road. He'll give the lead up to Jacob Ellingson, who now retakes the lead. There's 35 laps to go in this one. And punching his ticket to the championship round. Well, one thing I love that we do here at Goat Locker is the veteran spotlight. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. And that's going to go to Josh Lokovitz for this month. And Josh Lokovitz has been around Goat Locker for a long time. And he served 22 years, 15 of those on active orders in the Iowa Army National Guard. He did multiple deployments overseas, notably Iraq in 2005 and Afghanistan from 2018 to 2019. He held the MOS of 12B, a combat engineer, 29E, electronics warfare NCO, 89B, ammunition specialist, and 35F, intelligence analyst. He retired as a sergeant first class. Thank you for your service to our great nation, and we're glad to have you a part of the Goat Locker Racing family. Josh Lokovitz, man, I've raced on a team with him. He's a good guy. Fun to race around. Love to see him more in Goat Locker. We don't see him very often, so love to see him out on the track again. Ellingson has extended that lead after pit stops from about 2.5 seconds to 4.5 seconds here. Just a little bit over 30 laps to go. No more pit stops under green, so we'll run it to the end at the moment. Craig Bontrager's 12.4 seconds back from the leader and 7.8 seconds back from Patrick Drabick. We've seen crazier things happen. We've seen wins come from guys' computers locking up. It's not a given at all. If you're a Bontrager fan, there is still hope out there just a little bit, as you never know what could happen. It's like Mark Cofield has had some sort of issue. He is spinning down into the grass. Coming off a pit road. Looks like he might have had some sort of issue on the pit road exit or something. I'm not sure. I'll go back and see. It just came out of pit road on fresh tires, and that's usually when it'll get you on board with him here. Just gets loose there on exit. Down to the inside wall. Didn't even touch it. Backs up, but not enough to bring out the caution, as iRacing's pretty slick about not calling cautions when you're off of the racing line. If you spun out in front of, other drivers or up on the track where everybody's racing, it'll throw a caution. When you spin out down there, not going to do it. So we stay green. Greg Bontrager's probably hollering saying that, well, we need one. It's a mess down here. I haven't seen iRacing put out a new update today that had a new NDM, a new debris model. And I don't know if we saw any of that grass get thrown up on the track. But if you haven't seen that, go check out the video for iRacing. And they have it now where you'll if you run off the track and get into the grass, it can throw some debris out on the track, makes the track a little bit less grippy. So that's a really cool update. Interesting to see how that plays out, especially at road courses, where I think that'll be a bigger issue. But I don't see any dirt on the track. I think it's clear. I mean, at the moment, Bontrager is for sure. I mean, he's taking everything off. He's taking his belts off. He's throwing them out on the track. He's throwing his water bottle out on the track. His wind nets out there on the track, just hoping that they'll throw a debris caution. That way he can get back into this thing, because right now he is 13.8 seconds back from the leader, Jacob Ellingson. Ellingson going to run into some lap traffic here. That's Cliff Adams in the 98. And you can see he's got Brandon Wallace coming on fresh tires. Cliff Adams going to move down to the low side and let Jacob Ellingson on by. I'm sure Jacob appreciates that. So good for Cliff Adams making that call. Here comes Brandon Wallace around on the outside. Brandon is a good bit faster. He's on about 17, 18 lap fresher tires than your leader, Ellingson. These guys had a run in at one point. It's a very similar situation to Richmond where Brandon Wallace, I think, was passing him on fresh tires and they make contact. Ellingson goes spinning. So I think they would like to avoid that here. If I'm Ellingson, I'm just moving out of the way. Go by here. Let him go. You know, just go ahead and go on by. You wave him on through. There it is. Going to stay high, let the 99 go down to the inside. He's got a 4.5 second lead over his teammate. You can see he does exactly that. Just lets the 99 go, gives him the exit. Now Brandon Wallace back on the lead lap. Needs a caution to get caught back up, but he is back on the lead lap. Ellingson loses about 4/10 from that exchange, but hey, that's why you build up that much time between you and second place, so you can give up a little bit to make a smart move, and I think that's exactly what that was. We got 25 laps to go. The closest battles on the track is Tyler Justice and Chance Taylor. Everybody else pretty much spread out kind of by themselves. So we'll watch this little battle. This is for 6th and 7th. As Tyler Justice got a little bit close to that wall there. But Tyler's still in great shape here. Bontrager not in any way, shape, or form going to win this race if it goes to the finish here under green. So I think you're Tyler, you come into this night not expecting really to have a shot. I don't think. He just really wasn't in the running for it. I'm trying to go back and look at that. That's where I can't find the channels when I need to. There it is. Yeah, I mean, coming into this race, Patrick Drabick had 2,062 points. Second place, Daniel Cunningham, 2,045. As you can see, the points difference between first and second. Drabick solidly in, even with just 10 drivers. Damn near wouldn't lose second if you finish last. Lance Ripka was 2,041, and Mickey Isaac right there on the bubble, 2,037. And then he had Michael Kostick below the cutoff at 2,035. So that was definitely going to be a pretty amazing race. And then Ellingson tied with Kostick for at 2,035 as well. So there was a 2-point spread between 4th to 6th. And then you had Tyler Justice, who was going to be about 5 points back at 2,030 points. So he was going to need a lot of help to really jump all of those guys. That was going to be a tough ask for Tyler Justice. And he shows up to the race knowing he's going to have to really perform some sort of magic trick here to get in the Final Four. And hell, 3 of the drivers in front of him didn't show up. So what a gift there for Tyler Justice. And, he's still alive. Going to have an opportunity next week to win a championship. And, in that race, it doesn't matter about points. You just go out there and beat the other 3 drivers, and then you're a champion. So I don't think he has shown that he's had the speed to keep up with Ellingson and Drabick and Cunningham. But that's why we race, baby. If that's the way we said things, would happen, racing would be boring. It would be awful, because I'm sure there's a lot of Final Fours where people have gone in and thought this person doesn't have a chance to win, and they pull it out of the bag. And so it's definitely possible. Just getting there is the toughest part, and then after that, it's just executing during the championship race. So Tyler Justice maybe hasn't shown the speed of the other 3, but he definitely has a shot next week at Nashville. So much stuff that can happen. We close into the end of this one. About 19 laps to go as we cross over the hour mark, so still about for the 10, 15 minutes. And Jacob Ellingson will be your winner. Patrick Drabick has started to creep into that lead just a little bit. It's now down to 3.6 seconds after he let Brandon Wallace go. He dropped to about 4.1, and that's kind of dropped down to 3.8. Ellingson was so good on the long run last run. I don't expect that to really materialize as a race. Man, it would be just unbelievable. Drabick could make up 3.8 seconds. The math just doesn't math. Last time by, Ellingson was about a tenth faster than Drabick, as Drabick sort of dealing with a lap traffic. So Cliff Adams right in front of him, but I'll tell you what, we've got really great sponsors. Let's take a moment and thank them, and we'll come back to the end of this one, call it, and get some interviews and talk to your Final Four. We'll be right back.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Well, we're back here. Ellingson still in the lead here in the Hidden Wit Brewing Company Xfinity Series. And he's got the Lincoln Tech number 27 machine out for a Sunday drive. Got some lap traffic in front of him. That's Brandon Wallace and Tyler Justice. Shouldn't be really an issue here as he's starting to extend his lead back out on Patrick Drabick, and going to solidify himself in that championship four. Well, tomorrow night in the Cruising Classics Next Gen Series, it is going to be a wild one. You have to definitely go check that out on Maconie Entertainment. Drabick locked himself in last week on that one, but J.J. Moore, Jason Taylor, Daniel Cunningham, Logan Sturgeon, Jake Collins, all within 5 points of each other from second all the way back to sixth in those point standings. So that is a close battle. 5 points separate second through sixth. You got Blake Edel back in the seventh position, 5 points back from Jake Collins. So that is going to be a wild race. Definitely one to go check out. I think we'll see a little bit bigger field there, and that is a really close battle. And I think they will be at Nashville. So interesting how that one's going to play out Thursday night. Going to be a fun one. Las Vegas had the Atlanta Super Speedway last week, and then we're going to have Vegas to set the Final Four, and looking at the pro section, Ellingson locked himself in at Atlanta. And then down at the cutoff, you've got Brandon Wallace by about, I'd say about 7 points over Lucas Lyons. So maybe something can happen there, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great Final Four. I think Ellingson, yours truly, Chance Taylor, Brandon Wallace. Lucas, though, has the ability to go out there and get a win. We'll see if he can get that done. In the amateur division, though, Rusty Rafferty has been on just a tear. So he's got the lead. Tyler Justice, who is going to be in the Final Four in this race, assuming nothing crazy happens, he is going to be second there in the amateur division. Michael McCarthy and Chuck Phelps. They are 1 point between those two right at the cutoff, and Jeremiah Holt 3 points back from the cutoff. So definitely a lot that can happen there to get into the Final Four. And it's going to be so much fun at the final race of the season, which is Homestead, Miami, in the ARCA car. And there's going to be 8 drivers racing for 2 different championships in that one. So that's going to be a blast. So I'm sad to think that this season is coming to an end, but it's happening. It's man, these 15-week seasons just fly by. It's just unbelievable. I never expect it. It's always surprising when it happens, and we're down to the end of it. In the Friday Night Truck Series, right now, Jeremy Garner. Oh, wow. This is unbelievable. Jeremy Garner. Let's see. He locked himself in last week by winning. So he is locked in. But Drabick sitting there in second. 2,049 points. You got Levi McCarty, who has just been unbelievable this season. He has 2,048. Those guys have a little buffer. But then you've got Jay Cam, Michael Kostick, and Craig Bontrager tied at 2043 for the cutoff line. I mean, good grief. And you're going to be able to watch that all on VSP. We're going to have live points and everything for that one. That is going to be a lot of fun to watch how that plays out. Tyler Justice still in play, along with Howie DeSavino. They're going to have to go out there and win at Richmond. That is going to be a fireworks show for sure. So Friday night is going to be well worth the watch to see who gets in that Final Four, because all 8 of those drivers, I think, are pretty deserving of it. So we'll see who can get that done. And then let's take a look at the Sunday Night Truck Series. Right now, David Duke sits comfortably up there. Ben Stevens as well. Chance Taylor got a couple points over Michael McCarthy that's there on that cutoff, and then Colton Lamford about 6 points back under the cutoff line. George Jewell, Tyler Justice, all going to be in a most likely a must-win situation. So that's all the the scenarios in the Lincoln Tech Fall Series to end it out. I think we're going to have it's very possible we have 5 different champions this season. Just incredible racing all the way around. Maybe 6 different, maybe, with the ARCA Series having 2 champions. I can't wait to see how that plays out. That's going to be a lot of fun to see how that one turns out. Going to be celebrating 2 champions in one night. It's going to be a lot really cool. But right now, Jacob Ellingson, with 4 laps to go, has still a 3.7 second lead. He's got some lap traffic in front of him, but he's got a big buffer behind him. He can actually back off of it just a little bit. Let those guys settle it. Not try to get up there and get involved with it. Even if Drabick catches him, it'd be damn near impossible to make the pass. So Ellingson, I mean, if a caution comes out, it doesn't matter. So he's got plenty of time to work with it. Just kind of chill, watch those guys battle it out. That is for position in front of him. And he gets a little bit out of shape there. And he almost runs into the damn gate. Holy cow, watch this. He gets a little bit loose right here, and as he's getting it going, actually lifts off the throttle. He almost ran into that gate. So, don't want to make a mistake right now, although I still think no matter what happens, he's still in it. You can see he's definitely taking it easy now, just trying to bring it home down to about 3.4 seconds. All right, well, coming to 3 and 4, Ellingson. Barney's got the white flag in hand. Ellingson. White flag, one more lap to go. He comes in it in a must-win situation. 3 guys don't show up. He's in the playoffs, but he's going to go do it anyway. Go out here and take the lead early from Bontrager and never look back. Ellingson into 3 and 4. He's going to do it. Ellingson comes off a turn 4, fist pump in the air, and the number 27 Lincoln Tech Chevrolet is going to win here at Gateway, and he is going next week to race for a championship. Jacob Ellingson, your winner here tonight, and takes the win at Gateway. So, man, incredible race, incredible job by Ellingson, dominant performance. You can see right here, 80 laps led out of 100. And there it is. Going to burn it down on the front stretch with his teammate. Patrick Drabbit comes home in second. And Craig Bontrager, unfortunately, going to come home in that 3rd position. And he's going to burn it down here on the front stretch. Jacob Ellingson takes the victory here at Gateway. He'll be racing for some hardware next week. Gosh, it's got to feel good to come into it not knowing if you're going to win the race or be able to even battle for a championship, and you do both. Well, I know he'll be excited. We'll get him here and talk to him. As you can see, Patrick Dravick also 2nd place finisher, burning it down, celebrating with his teammate. They're going playoff racing. 50% of the final 4 fields going to be Goat Locker. And Daniel Cunningham and Tyler Justice. Well, Bo is out. Screws comes in there in the last second. And I don't think that's I can't show that on the broadcast. All right, let's take a look at your results, see where everybody finished. Ellingson, Drabick, Bontrager, your top 3. Cunningham comes home in 4th. Chance Taylor in 5th. Alex Cruz in 6th. Tyler Justice, a Final 4 driver, in 7th. Brandon Wallace in 8th. Cliff Adams in 9th, and Mark Cofield comes home in the 10th position. Well, let's talk to these drivers and see what they thought. 2 cautions early, and then it went green all the way to the end. So let's bring your race winner in here, Jacob Ellingson. We got him up into the booth. Jake, this is Eddie in the booth. Got a copy?
How's it going, partner?
Well, man, it is going good. Great for you. 80 laps you led after getting the lead early. You come into this race not knowing if you were even going to be able to move on to the Final 4. You were really kind of in trouble points-wise. You knew you had to come out here and win. And then you show up and 3 drivers in front of you are not here tonight. And it kind of just, took a lot of the pressure off a little bit of you having to win the race. And then you went out and did it anyway.
Yeah, we just me and Pat came up with a plan. If we needed to, if all the guys showed up, it kind of sucks that Kostick and Lance weren't here. It would have been great to battle it out with them to try to get into the Final 4. But it kind of lucked out in our favor. I only needed like 2 or 3 points to finish ahead of I think it was Kostick and Mickey Isaac. I think all 3 of us were tied for points, so I only needed just a few points to cover it. But me and Pat had a plan, and we were going to stick to it, and it just turned out in our favor. And surprising to come into Gateway here and lead 80 laps and come away with the win. I'm super stoked about that.
Yeah, and it seemed like, I mean, from the get go, Bontrager puts it on the pole, which he needed to win to get in, and you drove right in there after a couple laps and took the lead from him and never really looked back. So it seemed like that car was really really fast here tonight. So I really don't have any questions. I mean, you dominated the race. There's really not much I can ask you about, but as we move on to next week, you got a championship. You got a couple championships. You're going to be racing in. How do you get your mind right? I mean, we've talked all season about how you struggle. I mean, at one point you're going to sell all of your equipment. Now you're going to be racing for two championships. So it's funny how racing giveth and sometimes it
Yep.
takes away. But what's your mindset like next week? As you're going to maybe obviously you're not maybe you're going to be competing for at least two championships.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to go back to back here in the Xfinity series. Fun fact: no driver in GLR throughout any of the series that we've ever run has gone back to back champions. So it'd be cool to be the first. Not putting too much pressure on myself. I just Nashville is one of my favorite tracks of all time. Everybody here in the league knows that. I got thousands of laps in there, so I'm just gonna come in and try to hit my marks and come away with the best finish we can. If we win the championship, we win the championship. If we don't, we don't. It's been a fun season, but a rocky season. I've learned a lot in the Xfinity car here, and see what happens.
All right. Well, man, congratulations on that win here tonight. Going to the final four. Who do you have to thank?
Definitely got to thank Lincoln Tech for sponsoring the entire fall series here and putting their name on this number 27. Glad to get them another win. Hidden Wit Brewery for the title sponsor of the Xfinity series. I really enjoy shouting them out and what they do for the league. And then longtime partners, Cruising Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, Veterans for Life Foundation, Veterans for Life Racing, InVets, Jampering and Promotions, McConey Setup Shop, V-Speed, Nazareth 360, Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs, Alexander's PC, Sim Motion, Dexville Level Racing, iRacing, and Above the Yellow Line. And this all wouldn't be possible without my beautiful daughters and my wonderful wife allowing me to have the time to come out here and have fun with you guys.
Sweet, man. Well, congratulations on the win tonight. And congratulations on racing for a championship next week. There's your winner.
Uh,
Jacob Ellingson takes the victory here in Gateway. And then we'll move on to your second place finisher. And that's Patrick Drabbit. Patrick, congratulations. Second place finish for you tonight. You came into this race very comfortable. You didn't have to worry about a dang thing. Four wins coming into it, and now you're looking forward to that final race, Nashville, tonight. Just sort of showing up and hanging out, having a good time. But next week it all changes. You're trying to help Jake tonight. Next week though, you're going to be battling Jake for the championship. Talk me through it.
Well, we'll just have to see how the race unfolds and all that other kind of crazy stuff. I absolutely love Nashville. I think it's a fun track. We put on some outstanding races there across all our series, quite honestly. And to put the Xfinity car there on that concrete track, I think it's going to be a battle all night long. I mean, Jake is really good there. Dan Cunningham has every chance in the world to come out there and stink up the show and put himself in that championship hunt as well. So it's going to be a fun one for sure. But we're going to be ready.
Yeah. Well, tonight, very, very pedestrian race. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Just you didn't have much to do. You didn't have to push the car. I don't know. I don't like those type of races where you're comfortable and you didn't have, just, what do I do? Just drive around for 100 laps, knowing, think about that race next week. But still a really good race. You had a lot of speed. Jacob Ellingson had just a bad fast car tonight. Is there anything you could have done? You came out of the pit road about 2.6 seconds. You did the best you could on pit road. I mean, you were almost half a second better from the time you entered pit lane to the time you exited. Came out 2.6 seconds, and he just kind of drove away from you from there.
Yeah, he was just bad fast. I mean, there's just hands down, he was the better car, better driver tonight. I had absolutely nothing for him whatsoever. I thought, coming a lap early, I was going to be pretty aggressive getting on and off pit road. Didn't have anything to lose. Made up a bunch of time there, but he just started to walk away. I think I was a tick faster than him in the long run. But it was just he was so much faster in the short run. So congratulations to him on a hell of a win. I think it's freaking awesome. It's been a while since I got my butt handed to me like that one. So great job.
There you go. We'll come race on Thursday night. I can make it happen every week. Well, congratulations, Patrick. Who do you have to thank? I know you got a lot of sponsors. Who we got to thank here tonight?
I can't believe you're just gonna slide that one in there like that one. That's pretty good, man. Well, I mean, Lincoln Tech is on the side of Jake Ellingson's car. They've been a tremendous supporter of ours. The sponsor of the entire fall series. I love running the Hidden Wit, brewery Xfinity car and having them be the title sponsor of this series as well. It's been such an awesome relationship and partnership. To see Howie on Go Talk last night was amazing as well. Can't wait to make some announcements about actually getting out there next year and doing a setup with them. And then Cruising Classics and Nasties on Wednesdays. Veterans for Life Foundation and Veterans for Life Racing on Thursday and Friday. NVETS is such an amazing partner and all the work that they do with veterans not only across the country, but bringing them here to Indiana to find great homes and great work. The Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs and the awesome grant that they gave us. Eddie Smith and everything that he does, from Goat Talk to broadcasting our races and all the behind the scenes work. McConey Entertainment, Jeff McConey, love having them on board with us and everything they're doing. Of course, Jam Printing and Promotions. I mean, gotta give them all the love in the world too, and then all of our partners that help us put these sim rigs together that we give away to all the different veterans, everything from Alexander PCs to Next Level Racing to Sim Motion. Can't thank all our partners enough. Got some really cool stuff coming up this next season. Can't wait to start making some of those announcements as well. But yeah, we're gonna go fight for that championship next week, and we'll see if we park that 07 Chevy Camaro in Victory Lane and bring home that title.
There you go. Well, your second place finisher here tonight. First in the points, 4 wins on the season. Is going to be racing next week for a championship. Congratulations, Pat.
Thanks, brother.
Well, we move on to your third place finisher, Craig Bontrager, waiting patiently. Appreciate that. A lot of long-winded folks over here on the Goat Locker side. Well, I wanted to talk to you, man. You came into this race, you got the waiver, you needed to win, you put it on the front row, and lost the lead there early. What could you have done differently?
I think I needed to get a grip on that place. Pat in the drivers meeting told us we can send our complaints over to Jake about schedule making, and I'm gonna toss the idea to Jake that he retires this and becomes the last GLR winner at this racetrack. But I didn't have a really good grip on it, and honestly, in qualifying, I just sent it. I sent it so stinking harder than I had, and somehow it stuck, and I got a good lap. It was my fastest lap ever there. But I couldn't back it up in the race. So when he got around me, I was like, okay, I'll follow him, save some tires. And then Jake was just gone. And I was like, yeah, these two are in a different speed category. I mean, they beat me by almost half a track here at the end. So both of them have really strong runs. I don't know. More practice, more experience. That's what I could have done different.
Yeah, well, you still came home. I mean, you fought back after falling all the way back to about fifth and fought back to a third place finish. It seemed like you started to figure out there at the end. Being in a must-win situation kind of stinks. I think you had the speed all season. But come out next week at Nashville, and you're going to be able to race for a trophy, at least for the win of the race. Won't move on into the Final Four. It's a bummer. But still a great race from you, and you still got other championships. You got the Friday Night Truck Series that you're going to be battling out. So it's not all sadness, I don't guess, but I know you probably hate missing Indianapolis. You don't have to tell the reason or anything, but it stinks that you missed that. I think you could have put on a good show next week at Nashville. But going to come to a close here. But congratulations on your third place finish, and looking forward to seeing what you can do next week, and then in the other series where you're racing to try to get in the Final Four there. Congratulations, and who you got to thank here tonight?
I want to thank those two long-winded guys that you just interviewed for all that they do here, and but I love all the guys in this Xfinity series. We'll be participating next week for sure, and we would have been no matter what if we'd have been eliminated a long time ago. I'm kind of surprised we made it this far, anyways. So, but yeah, I want to thank V Speed. You guys do an excellent job. Hidden Wit Brewery for sponsoring the series. All these sponsors. Thanks, everybody.
All right, well, there you have it. Greg Bontrager comes home in third tonight. Gonna miss the playoffs. He needed to win, but we got the final playoff driver here tonight. Tyler Justice. This is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy? I don't even know if he's at his computer. I just kind of threw him up here. We'll see if we can get him. Tyler, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Tyler, you're going to be racing for a championship next week. What do you think about that?
Yeah, wasn't really sure I even had a shot at it, considering I was kind of far back. And then I guess a few guys didn't show up. So, kind of know how I feel about that. Kind of feels a little undeserved, but I mean, I'll be here next week, so maybe we'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, tonight it seemed like it was tough out there. Some guys figured out the track pretty easily, and then some it seemed like a struggle. What was it like out there for you?
Well, I only got 2 laps of practice because I was having internet issues before getting on. I couldn't get on iRacing at all, so I only got 2 laps of practice, a half lap of qualifying before I spun it. So the first half of the race, I was just trying to figure it out and stay out of the wall. And but overall, I mean, it wasn't that bad of a car setup this time with a fixed setup. The tires, they fell off, but they didn't get real squirrely. So I mean, it just got slower. Really, it was kind of weird. It just got slower, but not out of control like some of the Xfinity tracks do when the tires get worn out.
Yeah. Well, all that being said, all the issues getting into the session, all that, you're going to be playoff racing championship final four next week. Sometimes the iRacing guys just say, "Hey, you're the man tonight," and that was you, Tyler. So congratulations. Who do you have to thank for making that final four?
Well, I want to thank Pat, Jamie, Jake for putting all this the series on. I mean, it's been a great series all season. It's been really fun. With that, just Jamie Perkins as well, and Veterans for Life Racing is my team. So I'm really glad to be able to have one of us in there in the championship four. And then with that, just all the Goat Locker sponsors that help us put on the show every week. It's just really awesome. I mean, it's been a long season for me. I've raced every series, so it's been pretty long, and I got 3 more playoff races this week. So just hoping to be able to make it through and hopefully get a few more championship fours this week. And I also want to shout out to you, Eddie, and V-Speed for broadcasting. Always a great watch. And yeah.
All righty. Well, there you have it. Tyler Justice, your final four driver here tonight. And that is going to do it for us tonight. Man, that was I don't know. There was still some drama there. That was some good racing and just a dominant performance. Sometimes you just show up and you kick everybody's ass, and that's what happened with Jacob Ellenson tonight. I want to thank Lincoln Tech for their sponsorship of the fall series. Inwit Brewing Company. I got to get that right. For their sponsorship of this series and everything that Pat and Jamie and all the people behind the scenes at Go Locker do. I'm Eddie Smith with V-Speed. We'll see y'all next week. We're crowning a champion in Nashville. Got to be there. Going to be a good one. See y'all later.